It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. Do y'all know what that means? It's time to talk success. It's time to talk wealth. It's time to talk abundance. It's time to spread the word. It's time for you to know that you can get wealthy. It's time for you to put some of these wealth principles in full effect. My name is Brian N. Bean, founder of the Extra Digit Movement, ready to rock and roll with you guys to talk to you about one very important topic. Your money. How cool is that, right? And how to make your money grow and how to make more money and how to save money. We're not talking about worshiping money, or we're not treating money like it's everything. Some would say money is the root of all evil. I disagree. The lack of money is the root of all evil. So what we want to talk about tonight is getting money as an issue out of the way so we can get on with this thing called life. And we're doing it with experts and strategies and a combination of making wealth real financial and the makeover that they put together to help the average everyday person create a financial before and after picture is something that's never been done before. So when I tell you guys you want to hit share, and when I tell you guys you want to text, tweet, Facebook, smoke signal, UPS, FedEx, Morse code, pigeon courier, whatever you need to do, let them know that we're going to rock and roll here in the next 90 seconds and count. What's up, Tarsha? I see you. NY is in the building. Derek Ray's in the building. What's up, Ronald Robinson? North Carolina's in the building. Colleen, Texas. Delilah's in the building. Reggie, what's up? Reggie Kreiner, New York is in the building. Steve Booth, Philly's in the building. LeVar made it. What's up, big guy? So we're going to get ready to talk about money, man. And the reason I like this is because it's something that a lot of people don't really want to talk about. For some reason, we've been taught, don't talk about money. Never tell a person how much you make, shelter your money. And all that stuff is fine. But a lot of times you need to go ahead and make the topic a priority. Why? Because you bring about what you think about. If you think about your lack of money and your lack of bills and your lack of productivity and how much you don't have and how much you need, what you pursue will often elude you or evade you. If you talk about money comes to me freely and abundantly, I have strategies and experts that are helping me. I got a team of people that are promoting me. I have an organization that's gonna help me succeed. I got a company that's backing me. Then guess what? That's why those of us that do those things make a ton of money. So let me show you guys how this works. My name is Brian N. Bean. I'm the founder of the Extra Digit Movement. And what that means is we show you how to increase your net worth one digit at a time. But we do it using education with implementation. This is not just some how-to course or when you get out the webinar with us, you're going to go look at some videos. No, we have a staff and a group of experts that are going to help you step by step do everything I'm about to show you. The first thing you have to do in order to start making money is understand the difference between income and cash flow. There's a huge difference. If your money's not where you want it to be financially, the first mistake most people make is they give too much of their money away and their cash flow is tied up. In other words, it's negative. What you want to learn how to do immediately is differentiate cash flow from income. Here's how. Your cash flow is how long your money stays with you. Your cash flow is measured in time. Your income is measured in dollars. What you've been taught is to constantly monitor your income. Get a part-time job, get another full-time job, go back to school, get in more debt, get another degree to try to make more money. What you never count is how much debt you're giving away in interest, how much money you're giving away in taxes. You never factor in what's called your lost opportunity cost. Every dime that you don't invest, that somebody else takes and invests, you're making somebody else wealthy. You weren't taught that you can shred your bills. You weren't taught that you can get your money up front and not get a tax refund. You weren't taught the rule of 72, that the bank makes 16% off your money and they make $600,000 and you get 1% off the same money and you make $40,000. So they make $600,000, you make $40,000 off the same money. When you understand that your cash flow is basically you taking the money back away from the people who took it from you, when you start there, then start investing and compounding that money, then the universe will give you more of it because now you're what's called fiscally responsible. When all you're doing is spending, giving big business every dollar. And all you're doing is spending, giving the government a third of your money. And all you're doing is spending and paying back credit cards and student loans and mortgages and car notes and all this debt. Why in the world would the universe give you more money if you're not a good steward with the money you have? So we pull back the curtain. Let me show you what's happening here, right? There are basically 4 things that keep people from succeeding financially. Let me show you what keeps your cash flow tied up. The first thing is taxes. The second thing is debt. The third thing is big business. And the fourth thing is inflation. Until you learn that taxes, debt, big business, and inflation are the enemies of your wealth, you'll never have positive cash flow. Now, Brian, why do you keep talking about this cash flow thing? Okay, let me explain this to you this way before I show you how these guys rob you. A negative cash flow cycle is this. The lack of money costs you money, right? If you don't have a lot of money, a lot of times your credit can get affected. If your credit is affected, you have high interest rates. If you have high interest rates, you end up paying for things 2 and 3 times. Let me give you another example. You go to the bank. This used to happen to me all the time in college. And you swipe a credit card or a debit card, and there's no money there, but the bank clears it. Well, now you got an NSF fee. So a bank overdraft costs you $28, and I didn't have the money in the first place. So now you hit me with a late fee and a bank fee and a bounce fee because my lack of money cost me money. In this country, a negative cash flow cycle is taken advantage of because they know most people act out of desperation. You see how that works? Now, the opposite is true for a positive cash flow cycle. When you have money, you don't have to spend it. Isn't that crazy how that works? Oprah Winfrey can go to the Oscars. Oprah, here's your dress. Here are your earrings. Here's some perfume. Here's a purse. Here's some shoes. Here's some free food afterwards. You take your butt to the red carpet. You got to pay $10,000 to even get in the after party if you're allowed. See, when people have money, they don't spend it because their cash flow is so positive. People view them as an asset. When your cash flow is negative, people view you as a liability. So negative cash flow costs you more. Well, guess what? These 4 things keep your cash flow negative. You understand? Let's go down this windy road, and I'm going to show you why most people don't succeed financially. Thank God I'm not a pessimist. I'm going to give you the solutions, and we're going to wrap this up. If you give the government a third of your check, which most W-2s do, they're taking anywhere from 28 to 37% out of your paycheck. So if we just round it to an even 33%, that means you work for the federal government from January to April. So you work 12 months out the year, but you're only really getting paid for 8. That's what has your cash flow negative. You don't get paid for 12 months out the year. There's nothing wrong with a job, but if you have a W-2, do you know I spend the majority of my day hoping W-2s wake up and say, you know what? I'm thankful for my job, but I'm not satisfied. I can't work for the government for 4 months out the year, get paid for 8, but my bills come for 12. So what happens is, to catch up, problem number 2 hits you, and that's debt. Write this in your notes. Put this in the comments for me. Taxes cause debt. Taxes cause debt. Why? Well, if I make $50,000 and the government takes 18 and I take home 32, I got to do the best I can to get back the 18 so I can get back to my original 50. So now I got credit cards. No problem. Float your groceries. Float your vacation. Float your meals and entertainment. Then I got student loans. No education, no problem. Here's some loans. We'll pay us back in 30 years. Yeah. How's that going? Car note. Can't afford the car? No problem. We'll lend you the money. Can't afford a house? No problem. We give you a mortgage. So now I'm in debt because the government took a third of my money and I'm trying to get that back through the banks. So people wonder why the Federal Reserve and the U.S. Treasury, the banks and the government, have the largest accounts in the world. Well, they tricked us into giving them all of our money. Now look at this windy road now, because if we get hit in the head every day by this. The yellow circle is big business. Now, big business is going to make sure that they have something to make you feel better about your lack of money. You understand? So you work for the government from January to April. That's a third of the year. Then you work for the banks from May to August. That's another third of the year. Then you work for the big business from August to December. That's another third of the year. So what happens is you look up and at the end of the year, you're like, where did all my money go? It's simple. All the taxes, all the debt and interest. And then big business got you feeling like when you do get a little extra money, go buy a purse, go buy a car, go buy some shoes, go buy some clothes to make you feel better. So instead of you saying, let me put this money in an investment account so I can feel better about my future and I can get a dividend every quarter, right, from some shares that I own, or instead of me getting capital gains, also known as appreciation, let me get a Gucci bag. There's nothing wrong with a Gucci bag if you own some stock in Gucci. There's nothing wrong with a Lexus if you own some stock in Toyota. You see what I'm saying? Or own some stock in Lexus. What's my point? Big business will always have something for you to purchase. That's why it's called big business. You know why they big business? Because they put billions of dollars into making you feel like you need them. You gotta have this new Tesla. You gotta have a new iPad. You gotta get the new Samsung. You gotta get the new laptop. And big business so slick, they'll make your old products slow down so you have to upgrade. You remember? See, everybody want to talk about, is this a hustle? Is this a scam? What is he talking about? Well, was it a scam when Apple slowed down all the iPhones and they had a class action lawsuit and they found out that Apple slowed down your devices so you would be forced to get the new one? Now, let me tell you something. If you don't know that big business will make sure you make them billions of dollars, then you're sadly mistaken. Why don't you own a piece of it and make yourself just as wealthy? That's all I'm saying. See, I'm spending more time tonight on the challenges because the solutions are simple. But if you don't understand what's robbing you of your cash flow, you'll never make any money in this country. Now you got inflation. You know what inflation is? Because big business and business owners in this country, period, control how much things cost, they can go up on their prices whenever they feel like it. So Netflix can increase by $1 today. You ain't gonna cancel. Your internet company can say, you know what, we need $5 more a month. You ain't gonna cancel. Your cell phone company can say, you know what, we need everybody to give us $3 more. You ain't gonna cancel. Inflation is the subtle increase of everything over time. Groceries are up. Daycare is up. Healthcare is up. Gasoline is up. If your paycheck is not increasing at the same rate as inflation, you losing. So here's what's gonna happen if you're not careful. And I'm about to show you the solution. In 20 years, you're gonna still be making 2021's money. In 5 years, you're still gonna be making 2021's money, but everything else gonna be 5 times more expensive. How in the world does everybody watching this webinar expect to make it when the future value of money demands that things get more expensive and you still making what you was making in the past? I'll wait. Do y'all know the only solution for the average person that everybody can use to solve all these problems is a home-based business? Now, before I go down these bullets, let me make sure you get this. Do you understand that you were already born with the solutions to your financial problems? All you need is a social security number. I think Jim Rohn said it best. You weren't born in some third world country where you don't have any say so. You were born in America. I'm not saying all things are created equal. It's not a political webinar. I'm saying your social security number makes you a sole proprietor. And here's some things that your social security number will do if you apply it to a business. Number one, you get tax advantages. So the biggest challenge you have, which is taxes, It can be solved with an app and a home-based business. Number two, you get to hire your children. So the biggest problem you have, which is taxes, you can shift the tax dollars into your children's pockets as employees. And instead of you giving the government $50,000 a year or $18,000 in taxes, you can give them $4,000 in taxes and put the other 16 or 14 in your child's account. That's not tax evasion. When you hire your children, they work for the family home-based business. So you have to pay your children just like you would to take out the trash, and pay your children just like you would to wash the car, and pay your children just like you would to vacuum your office, and pay your children, because they're way better at social media than you, trust me, and pay your children to hold your cell phone while you make a video for your business. Why would you not pay your children when you're giving them money anyway? But you got to have a business to do that. See, a home-based business gives you, number three, unlimited income. Let me show you what unlimited looks like. All right, so I mastered limited income. This is what limited looks like. I used to work at Bank of America, right? Back then, it was called Nations Bank. You see my check here? See the bottom? $975.36. $975.36. Now, I graduated from college in June of 1997. That tells you I was working 3 months later in September of 1997. I had to start working immediately. How in the world was I making $975 every 2 weeks, college degree, study hard, passed my exams, did everything I was supposed to do. And now I make that every 2 days. So I got a text today at 5 o'clock for $500. Then I got a text yesterday for 500, 500, 500, 500, 500, 500. Every day. So in 2 days, I make more in 2 days than the bank was paying me in 2 weeks with a degree. See, that's me. See, I ain't got no reason to lie to you. What I want you guys to understand is that I was blessed enough to retire when I was 22 years old. I'm 46 now. So for 24 years, I worked my own schedule, out of my own house, on my own dime, unlimited income, making more in a month than my job was paying me all year. Why? Because I knew that in this country, business owners get all the perks. So, tax advantages, hire your children, leave a legacy, unlimited income, unlimited time, total control of my life. All my son, who's 17, all he knows is entrepreneurship. That's all he knows. Why? Because his parents are entrepreneurs. I'm not knocking a job. In fact, I made him go work just to get a sample and a dose of what that feels like. So you can never say you didn't have a job outside of working for me. My point is, his legacy has already begun. I just use the money that I make from home to purchase 20 acres and own another home on land. My neighbor is ludicrous. You understand? My other neighbor is Cam Newton. The neighbor across the street is Denzel Washington's son. Why? Because I position myself to be what I call surrounded by success. So my 20 acres is right there with Luda's 20 acres. My 20 acres is right here with Cam Newton's 24 acres. There's a gentleman y'all don't even know, he's got 26 acres, right? He's not famous, but he's rich. Why? Because I got a home-based business, and I decided a long time ago that they can't be the only ones getting residual checks and royalty checks. They can't be the only ones in the neighborhood making millions of dollars. What are you doing so that your legacy is solid with your children? So let's talk solution. The first thing you got to do is understand this formula. And I'm going to mix these up. Make, save, grow. MWR Financial has positioned themselves in the middle of the financial industry to do three things. First, we're going to show you how to make some money. Then we're going to show you how to save some money. Then we're going to show you how to grow your money. If you don't want to do one of those three things, you're in the wrong webinar. You got to want to do one of those three things for us to have a perfect fit. I'll be honest with you right now. We're not looking for everybody. We're only looking for a few people who've decided that they want to do something different. So let me show you how to save money first. You think it's going to be expensive? Nope, write this down. $79 a month. $79 a month. We have experts who help you in every area of your finances, from tax minimization to debt elimination to bill renegotiation to credit restoration to debt elimination. Now, if you took $79 a month for your membership, just $79, I want y'all to really hear me on this, and our experts saved you $500 a month in taxes, put in the comments, say, I will trade. If you'll trade $500 a month in taxes for $79 a month in the membership, just type in the comments, I will trade. If you pay $79 a month, but our negotiators took 5 of your bills and dropped them down to where you were saving $386 a month, put in the comments, I will trade. If you would let our negotiators renegotiate your cell phone bill, your internet bill, your DirecTV bill, these are things they did for me. Save $600 on my DirecTV bill, save $284 on my internet bill, save $319 on my AT&T cell phone bill, saved $412 on my Comcast bill. Put I will trade if $79 a month and all this renegotiation will help you save some money. See, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that you want to pay experts for what they're good at. Every other area of your life, you pay for help. You see, that's the problem with most people. If you have criminal issues or legal issues or get a speeding ticket and you need to talk to an attorney, you're willing to pay for it. If you have medical issues, you're willing to pay a doctor. If you have car issues, you're willing to pay a mechanic. For some reason, when it comes to money, you're not willing to pay for it. And that's why most people don't have none, because they're not letting experts do what experts do. Okay? So tax reduction from our enrolled agents who are IRS certified, that comes with your $79 membership. Credit restoration. Now, I want everybody who has a before MWR, I want y'all to just type your before and your after as far as your credit score, right? If you got a testimony, put that in the comments. Just say from 618 to 801. Just put it, keep it simple so everybody can see it in the comments. From 719 to 799, whatever. From and to. From and to. If you had experts that will help you delete and remove all the erroneous things off of your credit report and get your scores higher, who wouldn't pay $79 a month? From and to. Look at that. From 649 to 799. Jessica Schufer. From 591 to 705. Jason Upton. From 545 to 659. Gwendolyn Dotson. From 710 to 765. I mean, I can't even repeat all of these. Is it worth, look at that, from 563 to 700. Congratulations to Mika. Is it worth $79 a month? You see, we pay for expertise everywhere else. But when it comes to our finances, we want to act like we don't need no help. And that's why most people in America struggle. We just let the pros do the work. Now, some of you guys want to make some money. Okay? Write this down if you're brand new. $228 one time and $119 per month. Now we're getting into the income side of things. So write that down. $228 one time and $119 per month. So you mean to tell me, Brian, for $40 more per month, 79 plus 40 is $119. For $40 more, you got a home-based business and a one-time fee of $228. Yes. Now, Brian, what do I get to do? Well, you now have like 476 other deductions that a person who does not have a home-based business can take advantage of. You now have all the freedom and flexibility, the tax minimization, the time and control, time freedom, unlimited income, hiring your children. Now you have all those things, plus we have 4 methods of compensation. Brian, how do I get compensated? Okay, I want y'all to think about it. If my bills came down, my cable bill, internet bill, they renegotiated all my bills. If my taxes came down, and I'm in the top 5% income earners in the entire country, right? And my taxes are lower now than they were almost when I was broke, because I got trained professionals helping me. If my credit score went from a 734 to an 820, that's my personal story. 734 to 777 to 820. I just refinanced my house and got a 3% interest rate last week. I'm in the 3s. Do you think I might tell somebody? See, y'all think it's sales and pressure, who I gotta convince. No. I've just bought 20 acres. I get paid every single day. My credit score is in the 800s. My taxes are down. My debt is down. My bills are down. My investments are sky high. Who wouldn't want to talk about that if you got people who are willing to listen? Well, for that reason, we get bonuses. You understand? Car bonus, anywhere from $500 a month to $3,000 a month. They'll pay for your luxury vehicle. And if you don't want a luxury vehicle, they'll still put the $500 a month to $1,250 a month to $3,000 a month in your account. You don't have to buy a vehicle. We have a presidential bonus, anywhere from $500 a month to $100,000 a month. These are just the bonuses. As your organization grows, you get anywhere from $10 per person that you won't even know 90% of them to $75 per person and you won't know 90% of them. You understand? You get, these are called leadership bonuses. Every day as your team grows, a direct deposit goes into what's called your e-wallet. These are just some of the bonuses. We also have what's called a daily guarantee. This is another way we get paid. I call these the 4 methods. Bonuses are 1. The daily guarantee is 2. This is outside of the bonuses. That's a different check. We get residual income. What if you got anywhere from 50 cents to $8 off every membership in your organization? 500 people at $5 is $2,500 a month. 1,000 people at $8 is $8,000 a month. 100,000 people at $8 is $800,000 a month. I know people in this industry that make $1 million a month. Do y'all know in the next 5 to 10 years, some of you guys watching this will surpass people that I know who've been doing home-based businesses for 20 years, all because Making Wealth Real is a baby and just getting started. See, once you decide that you want to be a pioneer of something, you do what's called ride the wave. And some of y'all haven't realized yet that COVID shook up our whole economy. People are now more open to a home-based business because they see that, man, organizations and corporations now have scaled back because of COVID. They're not going back to hiring like crazy. They want everybody to kind of stay at home. So why don't you just start a home-based business and combat all of that and say, hey, I'll show people how to make, save, and grow money. The experts do the heavy lifting, and I'll get paid every single day. So you got bonuses. You got the daily guarantee. You got residual income, and you got quarterly profit sharing. We take all the profits every quarter, and you can earn a stake in the entire company, Making Wealth Real's growth. And we are the next. I always tell people, if Q-tip is synonymous with cotton swab, we never say I'm gonna get a cotton swab. We say I'm gonna get a Q-tip. We're the next Q-tip of the financial game. Arm & Hammer is synonymous with baking soda. We are the Arm & Hammer of the financial game. Pampers is synonymous with diapers. We are the Pampers of the financial game. Google is synonymous. Google's so bad, a noun, which is a company, noun, now became a verb, and you say, I'm just going to Google it. They now dominate search engines and research. When you research something, you Google it. You don't Yahoo it, right? What's my point? We are the brand builder of the financial makeover industry. And if there's anything Americans need, it's a makeover. Now, Brian, how do you grow money? Talk to me about growing money. Okay. I want y'all to think about this for a second. You can make all the money in the world, but if money is not eventually making more money for you, you'll always struggle financially. Let me make sure you get this. If you have $1, it's supposed to bring you back $5. You're not supposed to have $1, give your $1 away, and then try to go out and make another $1. Your $1 is supposed to bring you back $5. You keep $2, reinvest $3, bring back $8. You keep $5, reinvest $3, bring back more. You see what I'm saying? And that just compounds. What happens is most of us trade time for $1, and you never get capital gains. You never get appreciation. You never get dividends. Those are the things that we get in our growth phase. Imagine being able to purchase land in the path of growth, where our firm has deemed Antelope Valley, California, do your research, the next Silicon Valley. Antelope Valley, California is the next Silicon Valley. Now, knowing what you know today, if you could have invested in Silicon Valley 20 years ago, you'd be rich. You'll be rich. You can invest wholesale today, get your deed, and in 7 to 9 years, 5 to 9 years, when the Olympics hit Southern California, where our land is. NASA just put about 6,000 jobs between NASA and the armed forces where our land is. Warren Buffett just put $2.5 billion where our land is. Now you get a deed today, and you can cash your deed out in a few years, and that whole area, which is now being called Green Energy Valley, like the nickname for Silicon Valley, you don't even remember what Silicon Valley used to be called. It's just known for technology now. Same thing is happening in Southern California. Same thing. So now, we now position ourselves in the real estate game. Not just land banking, real estate, where you can buy, sell, fix, and flip homes with your money, and MWR does the heavy lifting. They have the inventory. They have the subcontractors. They've already crunched what's called the after repair value to show you what the houses are worth. We put in our, we're called capital contributors. We partner up with other Making Wealth Real representatives, put our money together, fix and flip a house, and you can earn an annual every single time a house sells to the client that we already have qualified. You get a rate of return. So now you're a real estate investor without having to be accredited. That's what we call capital contributors, right? You don't have to be an accredited investor, and you don't have to have a license, and you don't have to be worth $250,000 a year or a millionaire. A capital contributor, the way our corporation is set up and the way that the inventory is housed, you can participate in that same industry without the headaches. Now I'm gonna leave you guys on this note. My 30 minutes of fame is up. When it comes to growing your money, this is what amazes me about people. If I had 3 houses, rental properties, I want you to see how people think. And my mortgage on each property was $1,000. And I was renting them out for $1,500. And I had 3 properties. You know what my friends would say? Well, that Brian Bean is a savvy businessman. He got 3 rental properties. His rent, his mortgage ain't but $1,000, but his tenants pay $1,500. He got $1,500 a month in positive cash flow. You'll be looking at me like I'm the man. Yeah, I got 3 houses, got some rental properties. I made that this week, yesterday, day before, and the day before. You see how people look at money? There's 1 house, there's 2 houses, there's 3 houses. See, we've been taught that big and bold and store and storefront and signs and McDonald's and dry cleaners and all that means success. Success is not having to do all that work, but still getting paid and getting thousands of dollars without the monthly headaches. Success is not how much money you make working. Success is how much money you make not working. That's success. So get with the person that invited you and just say, hey, I'm a number 2 or I'm a number 1. Or number 2 says, thanks, Brian. I don't want to make any money, but I like that cash flow talk. I want the experts for $79 a month. I want the experts to help me lower my debt. I want the experts to help me drop my bills down. I want the experts to help me with my taxes. I want the experts to increase my credit score. Get all of that stuff, $79 a month. That's the number 2. So everybody put that in the comments. Number 2 equals $79 a month. Number 1 says, Brian, I'm in. I see the ways you get paid, the daily guarantee, the bonuses. I won't even know half the people because I like leverage. I don't want to know everybody. I see the car bonuses. I see the profit sharing. I want a piece of the whole company's profits. That's the 228 and the 119 per month because you're a business owner. And of course, that comes back tenfold with all the savings. So let us know if you are a 2 or a 1. I'll be conducting training tonight in 25 minutes. Get with the person who invited you and get signed up during the break. Then come to training on our private Zoom, incomeisYourOutcome.com. That's our private Zoom, incomeisYourOutcome.com. And I'll do a private Zoom for you guys at 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central, 7:30 Mountain, 6:30 Pacific. So I'll see you guys in training in the next 25 minutes. Sign up during the break, and then come back so I can show you guys how to have an awesome summer and make wealth real for you and your family. I'm Brian Bean, see you in the magazines. See you in training.